In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. There are trends for every age, for every time. And the trends which are prevailing now, has prevailed now. One of those trends is that of being a trainer and a motivational speaker. Motivational speakers have sprung up like the mushrooms. They are doing certain good things which should be appreciated, but everything else they are doing cannot be endorsed in a blanket manner. I do have one reservation, although I too am working in the field as a very, very humble worker. I too try to motivate the people to live a better life, to think better, to do better, and to expect the better. What usually these motivational speakers, the big names in this field are doing, they are motivating the people that you can do anything what you want to do, because you have been given and gifted with all the potential, with all the talents and the capabilities. It does work as well, but in how many of the cases it does work? There are definitely some of the people who have attained grandiosity after listening to these motivational speakers, after listening to any of the big motivational speaker. The life of some people have really changed and have changed a lot, but there are enough number of cases, a considerably good number of cases, who got the motivation from these trainers, from these motivational speakers. They started doing something which was bigger than their capacity. And what did happen ultimately, that not only that they failed in that new big assignment, rather they failed a lot actually. They failed so much that they have spoiled whatever they were possessing. They have spoiled the whole of their life. They abandoned their previous career because they thought that they can really do anything else. They can do whatever they wanted to do. But at the end of the day, they weren't having anything else. They were not neither a mediocre person anymore, nor they could gain the grandiosity. Grandiosity was shown to them. The big result, the big achievement, the achievement of the bigger goals was shown to them by these motivational speakers. But dear friends and fellows, they could not achieve any of those. What did happen as a result? They lost a big amount of time. The kind of time they did lose, it was they were not able to pursue any other career, because whatever they possessed actually they have lost while trying to gain the grandiosity, while trying to prove themselves that they too are an extraordinary person, that they too are a great human being. I think so that greatness is not for everyone else, although there are people who doing the small jobs, small works, but they people are destined for the big place. They people have the capability to work at a much better level as well. But it's not the case with each and everyone else. Everyone else is not equally talented. Everyone else is not equally capable and equally competent as well. My dear friends and fellows, if at all everybody else is not equally competent and equally capable, how come they will be able to achieve those extraordinary results, But as for these trainers and the motivational speakers are concerned, they are selling their products. They are luring the people towards them by showing that we can make you a great human being because there is a greatness inside them. There are, I should like to put forward a kind of example, the example of a person who says that I know the magic, but this person's magic is that she knows the psychological weaknesses of the general public and tries to exploit it. Now some of these people does get exploited while another some of the people don't. So I think so. As for these motivational speakers are concerned, they are levering the people towards them by showing a dream that you can achieve whatever you wanted to achieve. Many of them have only achieved big success as a motivational speaker, and whatever they were doing earlier, they could not achieve anything else. And as for these motivational speakers are concerned, they could not do anything else in a great manner so that they could achieve very good results except being a motivational speaker. The motivational speakers does motivate the people. They are good in motivating the people, but as far their own life is concerned, as far their previous profession is concerned, it did not work well, and then they became the motivational speakers. My dear friend, it is like those people, as I earlier said, who says to the public, who make the advertisements in the public by making tall claims that I can solve all of your problems. I can solve the biggest problem of yours, but they do solve their own problem. These people who are actually there to help the people against the money or other certain other form of return, but these people, what they actually are doing, these so-called helpers are solving their own problems only, and that too by cheating, by defrauding, by looting, by doing every unethical thing with their clients, because the mind of the clients actually does not work. So that's why they had chosen a person like this one to solve their problem. Dear friends and fellows, the same or maybe somewhat similar is the case with these motivational speakers. Some of the works of these motivational speakers really inspires me as well. I do appreciate once they are trying to extract once they are trying to take out the people from the despair, from the hopelessness, and they try to give the hope to these people. That is something really appreciable. And if at all these trainers and motivational speakers are trying to help the people by training them to become a more disciplined person, training them and motivating them to become a more ethical and morally okay people, I think all of that is really fine. If at all these motivational speakers are trying to motivate the people to think positive and to be as positive as possible, I think that is also quite an appreciable activity. I think so. Whatever these trainers and the motivational speakers are doing, everything else is not bad. There are certain good things, there are reasonably good things what the people are trying to import to the general public. But as far this thing is concerned, the grandiosity, I think the grandiosity is not for everyone else. Many of the people will start blaming me that if at all you do have any sort of that if I do have any sort of inferiority complex, I don't have inferiority complex, alhamdulillah. But at the same time, on the one hand, I am away from the inferiority complex, but on the other hand, I am not the one who is overestimating overestimating oneself and overestimating a lot. I think we should stop overestimating ourselves. Although what these motivational speakers and trainers are doing, these people are trying to tell them that come out of the inferiority complex. I think that is something really great. I appreciate it and appreciate it a lot. But as for these people, once these people are trying to inculcate, trying to instill this idea into the mind of their listeners, into the minds of their clients, that you do have the grandiosity in yourself and you can do whatever you want to do because you are very capable person, because you know all the you have all the talent and all the capability to accomplish, to achieve whatever you want to achieve. I think up to this extent I don't endorse whatever the people are found doing. That is not something appreciable at all, because as I earlier said, this is the mere wastage of time and the rest of the resources as well. Because being positive and being positive about oneself, I think that is really a good achievement by these motivational speakers. But apart from being positivity, apart from being a very positive person, it is important and very important indeed that up to an extent, or rather up to great extent, we should try to do whatever we can to become a pragmatic human being, to become a practical human being, and not to ignore what is feasible and what is not feasible. I'm not telling that in the long term we will not be able to do whatever we want, but at least as for the first plan is concerned, whatever our annual and our 5 years plan is, I think these 5 years and annual plans and even the smaller than these plans must be very much pragmatic and practical one. We must not ignore whatever is feasible, whatever is not feasible here, because I think so. Apart from being positive, apart from being motivated to achieve something worthwhile, it is equally important to make the plans which are more feasible, practical, pragmatic,